My friend's vegan wife swapped my milk with almond milk, went through my luggage to check for meat, and mocked me for not noticing what she did. So I'm done with that trash. It was an ordinary Saturday afternoon when I first noticed something off. I had just returned from my week-long business trip to New York, where I'd been caught up in meetings, late-night dinners, and the usual hectic routine of city life. All I wanted was to relax, catch up with my best friend Jake, and have a chilled evening. Little did I know this night would turn into an emotional roller coaster, one that would make me question everything I thought I knew about my relationships with the people I trusted. Jake and I had been friends since college. We bonded over our shared love for good food, sports, and late-night conversations. In fact, we'd spent countless hours together, sharing stories, grabbing beers, and laughing over everything under the sun. But this time something was different. Jake had recently married Sophie, a vegan chef, and while we never quite understood her way of life, being from a small town in the Midwest where burgers and BBQ were religion, Jake was head over heels for her. He swore up and down that she was the one, and though I wasn't a fan of her lifestyle, I was still happy for Jake. But nothing could have prepared me for what was coming. The first red flag. The evening started innocently enough. Sophie greeted me with her usual warm smile, offering me a drink. As we settled into the living room, she set the table for dinner. "I made your favorite, chicken parmesan," she said, "but I made a vegan version for myself." I smiled awkwardly. "I appreciate it, but I'll stick to the real deal, thanks." That's when Sophie got a little too enthusiastic, like she always did when it came to her plant-based foods. "Don't worry, you won't even notice the difference," she chirped, as if it was some kind of challenge. Now, I wasn't some meat-loving savage. I was open to trying new things. But when it came to my comfort food, there was no way I was going to fall for some vegan version. I like my chicken crispy, my cheese gooey, and my wine red. None of that almond milk nonsense for me. But it was when I went into the kitchen to grab a glass of milk that the real drama began. The milk swap. I poured myself a glass of what I assumed was whole milk. After all, it had been sitting in the fridge all week, right where I left it. But as soon as I took a sip, I almost spit it out. Something was wrong. It was bitter and thinner. Confused, I looked at the carton. Almond milk. "Are you kidding me?" I thought. I turned around to find Sophie standing in the doorway, her arms crossed and a mischievous grin on her face. "What's the matter?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "Not what you expected?" I stared at her in disbelief. "Did you just swap my milk? My actual milk for almond milk?" She shrugged nonchalantly. "Yeah, I did. It's healthier. You should thank me." I was speechless. What kind of person, no, what kind of friend would do something like that? It was such a small but invasive act. She didn't even ask me if I was okay with it. She assumed that my preference didn't matter, that she knew what was best for me. And the worst part, she was mocking me for it. The luggage incident. Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, I went to my room to unpack. I had barely opened my suitcase when I noticed something off, like someone had rifled through my things. Sophie was the only one with a key to the guest room, and I felt a deep sense of violation wash over me. There, in the middle of my neatly packed luggage, was a small paper bag, one I'd never seen before. I opened it slowly and found a variety of snacks, all vegan. Again, she thought she could impose her choices on me. I'd never seen these in my life, but that's not even the worst part. As I stood there, fuming, Sophie came into the room, casually leaning against the doorframe. She eyed my face and smirked. "Oh, I see you found my little surprise," she said, her voice dripping with smugness. "I thought you might want some vegan jerky and a plant-based protein bar. You know, to help you detox from all that meat you eat." I clenched my fists, trying to keep my cool. "What the hell, Sophie? Why are you going through my luggage? Why are you forcing your choices on me? I didn't ask for this." Sophie laughed. "Oh, come on. It's not like you're going to actually eat all that meat when you're home. I'm just trying to help you make better decisions." That was the moment I snapped. I had enough. How could someone be so dismissive of my personal choices, of my lifestyle, of me? The final straw. The next few hours were a blur of emotions. Jake was oblivious to what was going on, as he was busy with some work stuff. Sophie and I kept going back and forth, each of us digging in our heels deeper. The worst part? It wasn't just about the milk, or the snacks, or even the fact that she thought she had the right to invade my privacy. It was the disrespect. She had crossed a line that should never have been crossed between FR. I walked out that door, knowing that I couldn't be part of that toxic energy anymore. Sophie had made it clear she didn't respect me, my choices, or even my personal space. It's funny, isn't it? How something as small as a milk swap can shatter the trust between friends? How something as innocent as a dinner can turn into a battlefield of values? In the days that followed, I tried to reach out to Jake, but I knew deep down it wasn't just about the milk anymore. It was about respect, about boundaries. And when someone doesn't understand that, they aren't worth your time. I'm not saying I can't be friends with someone who has different views, but this wasn't a matter of beliefs. This was about manipulation, control, and a complete lack of consideration for the other person's feelings. And Sophie? Well, she didn't change. She just continued on with her vegan propaganda, unfazed by the damage she had done. But for me, that was the last straw. Sometimes in life, it's the little things, the small gestures, the seemingly insignificant moments that teach you the most about someone. And sometimes they show you that, for your own well-being, it's time to walk away. I learned that night that my boundaries mattered, that my choices, my comfort, my friendships were my responsibility, and that I deserved people in my life who respected that. Sophie? She wasn't one of them. I don't regret standing up for myself, and I won't apologize for it. I'm done with that trash. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most liberating thing I've ever done. This story incorporates drama, emotion, and suspense with relatable issues, highlighting the tension between personal choice and respect in relationships. It's crafted to appeal to both American and European audiences, given the widespread popularity of veganism, cultural differences, and the personal nature of the conflict.